Irish Guy, and yes, it is the end of the year, so you know what that means? Every year I put my neck out there and do a video predicting one outlandish bold thing that will happen to every Premier League club in that calendar year. These are wacky predictions, which means that if they actually come true, then I do look smarter than a high school geek. So come on now, let's take a look at the predictions that I made about every Premier League club 12 months ago. Things that I said would happen to your team in 2024. I hope I get them right. Right, let's go.
Arsenal will reach Champions League final. I don't think the Gunners will be European champions this season, no, but they will get past Porto in the last 16, and all they have to do is just beat 2 more football teams, and guess what? They're in the final. Just you watch. Arsenal are going to Wembley.
Nope. Arsenal crashed out in the quarters, and let's be real, lads, they were a penalty shootout away from being dumped out 1 round earlier against Porto. Facebook, Bayern Munich were having a crisis season, and yet the Gunners, they look so nervous to be in an actual Champions League quarter-final again, facing a club who not too long ago spanked 10 past their goalie, that even Gabriel was literally picking up the football, as if this was a game of rugby. So no, I was incredibly wrong about this one. Next.
Aston Villa will win European trophy. This really isn't an outlandish claim, but yeah. The 29th of May 2024 in Athens, Aston Villa will finally be winning another European trophy. Over 40 years after the last one.
Lads, I actually don't feel stupid for making this prediction. I don't feel like someone who's just owned up that he thinks that China was made of cheese. No, because Aston Villa should have lifted a European trophy last season. It's actually sort of bonkers that they didn't, because I think West Ham set a precedent. Any Premier League club rolling in funds who fails to win the Europa Conference League, this patronizing baby competition for pub teams from Slovenia to make themselves feel good. I mean, lads, a few days ago, I briefly chatted to a fella who's in the Conference League the other night. 29-year-old Aaron McAniff of Shamrock Rovers. And he seemed like such a normal human being. The type of ordinary guy you'd see buying chicken nuggets at 9 AM at Burger King. Honestly, he was just looking for a pub that was open in London. So this is not a competition full of superstars. It's just normal blokes. And so the fact that Emery did not actually end Villa's trophy drought last season, instead conceding 6 to a team from Greece, that has gone a bit under the radar, but that is almost a bit of a disgrace. Villa should have been winning this baby competition in Athens, copying West Ham by smacking up Fiorentina in the final. But no, they left those medals on the table. Poor. I should have been proven right.
Bournemouth will be in top 4 at Christmas. What are you looking at me like that for? People think I'm nuts. I get it. Suggesting that Bournemouth will be in the Champions League spot at Christmas. Am I alright? Are we positive that I didn't eat some poisoned bananas? Tipping little Bournemouth to crack the top 4. The next time Michael Bublé is in the charts? It's weird, right? I know it's weird. Andoni Iraola is producing something special at Bournemouth. This is going to be the year of the cherries, and I promise you, Christmas of this year, it seems a million miles away. Bournemouth in the top 4 this December. They are going to be immense.
Oh, this is devastating. Words cannot truly describe how heartbreaking this one is, because lads, this was freakishly outlandish. Me putting my neck out there a year ago and proudly stating that the Cherries would be spending Christmas in the top 4. I might as well have grabbed a speakerphone and jumped up on stage at Glastonbury and told everyone that our planet was about to be invaded by space monkeys. It would have been a bit like me ringing up my mum and telling her that within 3 months I'd be getting an invite to Justin Bieber's next birthday party. Lads, this is such an unlikely thing to happen, and yet, it's Christmas and they're 5th, only being kept out of the top 4 by Nottingham Forest. It is truly bonkers. Lads, it's Christmas time and the Cherries are sitting 2 places above Manchester City, and yet they're still somehow not in the top 4. How unfair is this? I was so close. If Brentford had just done their job on Saturday and kept up their insane form and just beaten Nottingham Forest, then right now I would look like the biggest genius on earth. No.
Brentford will sack Thomas Frank. They've taken 3 points from the last available 21. If Frank does not turn this around, I don't care how much credit he has in the bank, the bloke is getting binned. But yeah, like Rodgers at Leicester, I think Frank will be getting a shock sack and replaced with Julian Lopetegui.
Well, this is horrible. Brentford have not sacked Thomas Frank, and they never will sack Thomas Frank. I can see him walking away in the summer to take a glamorous European job like Roma, sure. But yeah, no chance of the Bees ever bidding him off. What was I thinking?
Burnley will sack Vincent Kompany. I don't like saying this. He's going to be sacked for someone like Carlos Corberán.
Nope.
Brighton will sign a future Ballon d'Or winner. Yeah, this is the one prediction in this list that we will not know if I'm right by the end of the year. I see no reason why Brighton can't scout a future world great. I mean, they're getting dangerously close. They already brought Ansu Fati through the door on loan, so they might have already done this, but yeah. Go on. Keep an eye on their recruits in 2024. One of them is winning this thing.
I've got this one wrong, haven't I? I was thinking, after the Seagulls had randomly snatched Ansu Fati on loan, the same summer they were also making an ambitious move for Cole Palmer, and yeah, I was under the impression that their genius scouting network was getting into the habit of pinching some future world-class superstars. Ah, come on, does anyone think the likes of Yankuba Minte, Jorginho Rutter, or Matt O'Reilly are ever winning the Ballon d'Or? I mean, the two most promising prospects they've signed this year are probably Argentina international left-back wonderkid Valentin Barco, but he's since flopped on loan at Sevilla, and oh yeah, since when do left-backs ever win the Ballon d'Or? You've got more chance of seeing the Go-Compare guy win an Oscar. Who else is there? I mean, they just snatched into Miami's Paraguayan midfield starter Diego Gomez. I mean, he's played alongside someone with, what, 7 Ballon d'Ors? He may have even convinced Messi to let him kiss one of them whenever he's been around his mansion for lunch, but any chance of ever winning it himself? There's probably more chance of me getting married to the Grinch.
Chelsea will go 20 games without a clean sheet. Chelsea can no longer adequately defend, which is weird considering they've got a squad stuffed with random £60 million centre backs. Mauricio Pochettino is going to embark on a 20-game run of 0 clean sheets, and it's gonna look ugly.
You know what? This might sound like a totally bananas prediction on paper, but it wasn't that far-fetched because literally a month after I made this video, Chelsea embarked on a 14-game run in all competitions where they conceded at least 1 goal in every match. I mean, seriously, does anyone remember that early spring when Pochettino's defense looked so incredibly leaky? If Everton had just bagged 1 goal at Stamford Bridge in mid-April, instead of getting embarrassingly battered by 6, then the run would have continued to 18 games without a clean sheet. So this wasn't complete nonsense.
Crystal Palace will have a shock inclusion at Euro 2024. Lads, this might seem completely crazy to say, but I think Crystal Palace will have a shock last-minute call-up for Euro 2024.
Somebody give me a crown, because this one was gloriously sweet. I mean, take your pick. I randomly said that Crystal Palace would have a shock England pick at Euro 2024. Turns out that no other club in the world had more England representatives at the Euros than Palace, with 4 going. And Adam Wharton was clearly the biggest surprise. The biggest shock inclusion in an England tournament squad since Theo Walcott nearly 20 years ago. I mean, come on, when I made this video, this guy wasn't even a Premier League player. Just some teenage midfield nugget playing for Blackburn Rovers in the Championship. He wasn't even on Southgate's radar. Everyone who would have been making early Euro 2024 England squad predictions, nobody would have ever considered him. He was about as famous as that yogurt in your fridge. I mean, his most recent game before I published this video was him playing the full 90 minutes for Blackburn as they were smacked up 4-1 by West Brom. Nobody would have ever suspected him getting an England call-up for the Euros. This was so hideously unlikely. I mean, it's like you going into your local pub, pointing at someone at random and saying, yeah, you're going to win the X Factor next year. Why, you mean overweight Margaret charging drunks £4 for a packet of scampi fries? But something inside me just knew, just felt that there would be a shock pick from Sutter's part. I'm proud of this one.
Everton will hire a Champions League winning manager. This seems really strange to say, considering Sean Dyche is doing a quality job as Everton boss, despite them only being 1 point above the relegation zone. That is true. But Everton, under new ambitious ownership, and with the club excited to move into the spaceship of a stadium next year, and I just think by mid-November, Everton will have grown bored of mouldy old Dyche, and will go back to hiring Champions League winning managers. Like they did with Rafa Benitez and Carlo Ancelotti, it's going to be a massive monster name to excite the fans. Someone who has lifted the Champions League as manager.
Lads, we have a week left of 2024, and I would not be shocked to see Sean Dyche ruthlessly sacked by the Free King Group. I mean, these are the same owners who binned off Jose Mourinho, despite him getting Roma to 2 European finals. So clearly, they are hard to please. They've been sacking Roma managers more often than they've had actual bats. And you know what? Despite the embarrassing sack, the media are still tipping Mourinho for the Everton job, which would absolutely fit this prediction, right? But surely not. Surely Jose would not quit his Fenerbahce project after just 6 months to go running back to the same guys who tried to tarnish his reputation with an undeserved sack. It wouldn't make sense at all. It would be like Mourinho cancelling a birthday meal with his wife to go bowling with Daniel Levy. But let's just face it, this one ain't coming true.
Fulham will win a game 7-0. Surely Fulham's eventual ambition is to start seeing their deliciously wonderful goal-fest football from Marco Silva's championship title-winning season integrated in the Premier League. So why not? I'm going to go with a 7-0 win in 2024, their biggest Premier League win. Once they get a clinical striker through the door, just you watch.
Nope, not even close. Next!
Luton Town, Rob Edwards will take England job. This sounds absolutely insane. Me tipping the England FA to be hiring the bloke from Luton Town, but why not? I don't see what would be so nutty about getting Rob Edwards. And lads, England do not like appointing managers who've just failed. They always want managers who are fresh off a high. If Edwards pulls off a miracle and keeps tiny little Luton up, chucking the fact that he's worked with the FA before, managing England under 16s 3 years ago, then I'm telling you, if Luton stay up, he's taking Southgate's job.
This is a terrible prediction. I said that Rob Edwards was going to be the England manager. Instead, that job has gone to a Champions League winning rock star of a coach, whilst Edwards is clinging to his Luton Town job, sitting 15th in the Championship. Since I made this glowing endorsement, this guy has lost 24 matches as a manager since. Luton meekly got relegated without a fuss, and now he's getting ripped apart in the second tier most weeks. I mean, it's probably a good thing that Luton Town didn't fluke survival, or else they would probably be on course to break Derby County's record Premier League points total of 11. Me suggesting that he be England boss instead of Tuchel. It's actually completely insane. What was I thinking?
Liverpool will not lose a Premier League game. This is really crazy to say. Why not? I'm not saying I think Liverpool win the league this season. I don't. I think their record is going to be peppered with a bunch of unhelpful draws. But I just think Jurgen Klopp has established a steely mentality where if you give them a lead, they don't lose. 0 Premier League defeats for Liverpool in 2024. I might be wrong. I probably am. I just have to say it because imagine if someone had predicted that at the start of 2019. They would have looked like a mad genius. So just in case, let's say the same for 2024.
Do you know how long Liverpool's Premier League unbeaten run lasted after I made this video? A month and a day. Before getting beaten by Arsenal, then Crystal Palace and Everton in April, and then Nottingham Forest in September. To be fair, that's it. Just 3 Premier League defeats all year. That is still really good, but no, I was wrong. Again.
Man City will lose to a newly promoted team. Man City rarely lose to newly promoted teams anymore. I think the last time that happened was Norwich 4.5 years ago. So yeah, I think it'll happen again. They'll lose to a newly promoted team. Let's say Leicester in December.
I am speechless. Lads, this could be the greatest prediction in the world ever. Lads, go back a year ago. And Leicester City were not even guaranteed to even be in the Premier League in December. And yet here was me tipping them to beat Man City that exact month. 7 months before the Premier League fixtures were even released. Well, guess what? All eyes on the 29th of December, because that is when absolute crisis club Man City visit Leicester in the league. And this sort of stinks of Pep's first season, when an underperforming City visited a struggling relegation-threatened Leicester, and they got slapped up 4-2, as Man City have lost 9 out of their 12 games. Can anyone confidently say they won't lose at Leicester in December? And if they do, if they actually manage to lose to a newly promoted club this month, I'm gonna go viral on the internet. Surely this would be the greatest prediction in the world. So come on, this is the one match of the season where I want Jamie Vardy to score. I could look about as clever as a scientist freak.
Man United will concede 8 goals in 1 game. Oh, no. 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 This is the most outlandish and stupid prediction in the entire list. The great Manchester United conceding 8 goals in 1 match. Is this a joke? It might seem crazy to say this, but I'm gonna say it. 2nd of March, 2024. That'll be the day. Manchester City 8, Manchester United 0. Then are you gonna sack Ten Hag?
Nah, it was 3-1 instead. I mean, don't get me wrong, Man United have had a horrendous 2024. I mean, they have hit the rock bottom as a football club, spending Christmas Day in the bottom half of the league. That must be completely sobering for them. It must be like a mega celebrity, like Rihanna spending her Christmas in a caravan with the monsters of the Hills of Ice. But still, no. The club's heaviest defeat of the year was just 4-0 against Crystal Palace. Nah, they haven't come close to an 8-0 stain.
Newcastle will have a star player poach. This was not supposed to be the way. When Man City got their super takeover, they didn't have to sell their star players. It didn't happen. But with Newcastle apparently so restricted by FFP these days, to the point where Eddie Howe had to sell some maximum to fund Harvey Barnes, then yeah, I think with the way things are going, Newcastle are going to have to sell one of their best players. Newcastle are going to cash in on an asset this year.
No. I mean, don't get it wrong. The huge rumours all summer about how the club were going to cash in on Anthony Gordon, flogging him to Liverpool after the Euros. But no, instead, they managed to balance the books by selling both Yankuba Minte and Elliot Anderson for a rough £70 million. They did all of that instead of dumping Gordon, so thankfully, I was wrong.
Nottingham Forest will reach FA Cup final. Lads, Nuno Espirito Santo is a quality cup manager. That bloke was just minutes away from getting Wolves to an FA Cup final in 2019. So yeah, Forest at Wembley in May 2024.
Nope. I mean, to be fair, this wasn't that stupid a prediction, because they wound up losing to the eventual FA Cup winners Manchester United, with Casemiro scoring an 89th minute winner at the City ground in the 5th round. I mean, to be fair, even if Forest had beaten them and reached the quarterfinal, they would have still lost to Liverpool, surely. But yeah, no FA Cup final, no, but how about top 4 at Christmas? You see, I knew Nuno Santo was going to do something great at Forest. I just picked the wrong achievement.
Sheffield United, bottom of championship at Christmas. Yeah, this is your classic case of a demoralised squad in freefall. After a year long getting battered in the Premier League, the Blades will just continue to get slaughtered in the championship. I reckon Chris Wilder will be gone after a pretty uneventful relegation scrap. And yeah, with someone left field like Frank Lampard at the wheel, bottom of the league by Christmas.
This must be the worst prediction in the list. I said the Blades would be bottom of the championship at Christmas. Instead, they're top of the championship at Christmas. Do I have scrambled egg for brains? Sheffield United have even had a points deduction and are still top of Christmas. I couldn't have possibly got this any more wrong. Although I did say that Frank Lampard will be bottom of the championship, right? He is 17th, just 6 points off the bottom, and actually just got spanked 4-1 by what was then the championship's bottom club. Well, wasn't that wrong?
Tottenham, Richarlison will end the year on 20 goals. Yeah, why not? I think Richarlison has turned a corner at Spurs, one of the most improved players in the league, and Postecoglou is really getting a tune out of him, so, at the risk of sounding crazy, I'm going to say it. 20 Premier League goals in 2024.
I was, a quarter of the way there. Because Richarlison has 5 Premier League goals in 2024 and none since the start of Feb. He has been a forgotten injury-prone lump in the Tottenham treatment room who's heavily been linked with the January switch back to Brazil. I got this one very wrong.
West Ham will break transfer record. West Ham are due an absolute summer splurge. Their record transfer is still Sebastian Haller for £40 million 5 years ago. I'm going to call it. 2024 is the year where West Ham finally, for the first time ever, write a £50 million paycheck.
This is so annoying because West Ham did have a summer splurge. They might as well have written a £50 million paycheck for one superstar because they just spent £120 million on new summer signings. But no, the most amount spent on a single player was £40 million paid to Wolves for their centre-back Max Kilman, which is still not more than the club record £45 million paid for Sebastian Haller 5 years ago. I was close, and the club apparently did weigh up a mega club record deal for Dominic Solanke in the summer, but no.
Wolves will sack Gary O'Neill. Right now, everybody has Gary O'Neill fever, so nobody will believe me when I say this, but I promise you, O'Neill is still getting binned in 2024. Wolves will go on a horrible run of form, and he is getting disposed of. I promise you. Let's make a deal, okay? If O'Neill still has a job at Molyneux, by the next time I tuck into my Christmas dinner, then I will dress up in a teddy bear onesie and jump in the freezing cold sea.
Yes! They left it late, but they finally pulled the cord in December. But oh lads, Wolves publicly backing their manager in December. The last month of the year, they were publicly committing to giving him cash to spend in January, putting their full faith in O'Neill. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, lads, I was odds on for a teddy bear swim. So thank you, Wolves. Thank you for saving my bacon at the last minute because yes, Gary is gone. So that's it. I got Crystal Palace and Wolves correct, but lads, I've got a good feeling about Man City. This could be my greatest prediction ever, set to come true on the 29th of December. So get the popcorn, lads, because I am sorry. If Man City lose to Leicester, if that actually happens, with me having predicted that a whole year earlier, if Leicester City actually win that match in December, then lads, I'm going to throw a party on this channel, and you're all invited. No one's going to come. Anyway, that's the end of it. Let me know what do you think? Let me know. How bad were they? I think 2.5. Pretty good. But anyway, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to get a like, share, subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.